It's definitely getting hotter. My gosh, is it warm in this loft? And I thought I'd go through 10 books that I have on my TBR for summer. And I'll go through them with you, and then you can let me know what you would pick to read first and any books that you have on your TBR for summer. So let's dive in. And of course, they're not all romance, some of them have a little bit of trauma in them as well. So let's dive in. Of course, the first one has to be a Laurie Gilmore book. I am obsessed with the Dream Harbour series, and I believe this is the sixth and final book in the series. This is the Daisy Chain Flower Shop. Look at the foiling on that. And there's a little dog. There's always an animal reference on the cover. So this is Daisy's story, and the mayor has come in and said that her flower shop is cursed. So nobody wants to shop there. She's having a really hard time with it. And then she meets somebody called Elliot, who has had his own relationship turmoil. And I think this is going to be more like a forced proximity situation, because he walks into the flower shop and doesn't expect it to be a life-changing moment. So yeah, she's meant to be like the unluckiest woman in Dream Harbour. He's going through a relationship turmoil. I really like these. They're not dual point of view, but I do really like them. And I think I can see text messages, which is very exciting. Yes. I know this is like the sixth book in a series, and if you haven't read them, you haven't read them, but they're so easy to read. They're perfect for spring and summer, and you can just sit by the pool and just escape into this world. When you read the Dream Harbour series, you kind of come across all these different people who work in different parts of the town. I think my favourite book was the one I read before. Is it called The Gingerbread Bakery? The bakery one. I can't remember what it's called. Is it called The Gingerbread Bakery? Yes, it is. That's my favourite because it was a second chance romance and it was done so well. I'm not often a fan of second chance romance, but the way that Laurie Gilmore wrote this was so good. And look, there's a little dog on the back as well. So yeah, definitely recommend adding this series at least to your TBR. But if you have read this, I don't know if it's out yet officially. I think I might have mine early. I was going to say, if you have read it, let me know. But I don't know if that's possible. So yeah, easy to read, super fun. Cannot wait to dive in. Again, I'm continuing a series. I've got book 4, Duke, and book 5, Rider, to read by Jessica Peterson. This arrived last year, and in October I went to Spain. I thought I'd packed in my suitcase, got to Spain, and it wasn't in my suitcase, and I was so annoyed. So this is one chance, meeting on a Texas ranch, one wild, two charming cowboys, one snowed in night that changes everything. So this is Wheeler and Duke's story, and I think it is like a forced proximity, one night fling situation. I think I'm going to absolutely adore this one. These are dual point of view. Now, if you haven't read the Rebel Blue Ranch series by the Lucky River Ranch, why do I always call it Rebel Blue Ranch? The Lucky River Ranch series by Jessica Peterson, you need to meet Cash first. Cash, we know he's my go-to. He's my dream boat. But I do think Duke might be a close second if it's a forced proximity situation. And then we have Ryder. I just love the covers as well. One hard fall in the rodeo ring, one maddeningly gorgeous cowboy, one chance at love she swore she'd never take. So she is, I think she's a single mum. I obviously will let you guys know, and I'll do like little reading vlogs for the ones I'm talking through. And I am counting this as just one book to talk about because it is finishing off the series. I love cowboys. I haven't read as many cowboy books recently. I've come across an author called Gemma Moore, who I do like as well, but I haven't seen many cowboy books released yet for summer or spring. If you do have any on your list that you think I won't have read, do let me know. But yeah, these two are the ones I want to read definitely this summer. Again, take them on holiday, sit by the pool, really easy to read, really fun to read. It's sunny outside in the garden right now. It would just be the perfect time to dive in. I think I'm going to save them for June. But yeah, I'm so excited to complete a series because I'm not very good at doing that, you may realise. Then the next one again doesn't make sense. So this is Wildest Dreams by L.J. Shen. I have read Truly Madly Deeply, which is the first book in the Forbidden Love series. And I have read Handsome Devil, which is the third book in the Forbidden Love series. Why have I not read book 2? So this is Ryland and Dylan's story. He'll protect his best friend's baby sister from anything except from himself. So it is your sister's best friend trope. These are really good. They're spicy. They're super easy to read. It does have really pretty artwork inside of it as well. And they're obviously called the Forbidden Love series because it is people you shouldn't date. I don't think it's like the most forbidden, most taboo thing that L.J. Shen's writes by any means, but I do love it. It's just an easy summer read, and I don't know why I left the prettiest cover out when I read these. I had to read book 3 because I was told to read it before reading Bad Bishop, so I jumped straight in there. And then I just never picked this one back up. They're dual point of view. They've got little text messages. They're super easy to read. Again, you can just kick back and relax with a book like this. And I am honestly so excited to dive into this world again. Maybe I'll come across some of the characters I've met. That she does kind of interlink all of her worlds. So maybe I'll come across some of the characters I've already met from one of her other worlds. Time will tell. But yeah, I'm very excited. I do love, like, a brother, sister's best friend trope. Anything forbidden is super great. Is it me if I don't have some form of secret society on my list for summer? Last year we were reading Tate James, of course, and The Devil's Society. But this year I have 1,000 Perfect Lies by Monica Murphy. It's absolutely stunning. It is a standalone and it's set in an English boarding school. So you have a New Yorker who goes to England's most elite boarding school, and she has a forged identity, and it says it's perfect for readers who love the dark social hierarchies of Gossip Girl. I don't know if you guys were the same as me, but when I was a teen, Gossip Girl was huge. I used to watch it online, like, oh, obsessed with it. And if you like One of Us is Lying, 1,000 Perfect Lies delivers prep school glamour, sisterly redemption, and mystery that turns privilege into peril. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this. I think it's going to be such a twisty-turny read. I can see that it's just one point of view, but I honestly think this is going to be such a good one to pick up and add to the TBR, and it's so pretty. You can't go wrong with Secret Society. I'm interested to see how she writes the English element. I'm not sure if Monica Murphy, I'm pretty sure she is American based on everything. Yeah, is she American? I think so. Yeah, she's Californian. I was going to say she is. So I'm excited to see how she takes on an English aspect and whether she gets it right or not. Some people do. Some people don't. So I will definitely let you know what I think of this one as and when I read it. But I am very excited. I've been wanting to read it for a while, but putting it off till summer because I don't want my whole TBR for summer to just be romance. And I think as much as it's going to have romantic elements, the mystery side of it is hopefully going to keep me engaged as I make my way through this book. But yeah, if you have read it, let me know what you think in the comments. Obviously no spoilers though. Then we have One and Only by Carla Sorensen. This is the first in the Wilder family series, and it's a fake marriage. Fake marriage, if you don't know anything about me, is one of my favourite tropes. I love arranged or fake marriage. Anything where they don't have a choice in doing it and they are literally forced to go. It's more intense than like fake dating. Like, you've got to live with that person. You've normally got to share a bed. If they've got like housekeepers in like a mafia setting, you have to fully get involved in the family. So I'm really excited to read this one. So this is Beckett and Greer. So Greer has a father who is dying, and his last dying wish is to walk his daughter down the aisle. So she's like, right, I guess I can give him that. Beckett has a daughter and he needs to be married for a custody battle that he's having over his daughter. I'm pretty sure it is a daughter that he's got. So they agree to marry each other. You were cordially invited to the fake wedding for a year and then part ways. I've been told the way that he turns up, the way that he's silently present is amazing. Everybody keeps talking to me about this book. Everybody keeps saying like it's a go-to read. So I would definitely recommend getting this one on your TBR. And obviously she has to share a bed with him, she has to get to know his daughter, there's text messages, it's dual point of view. I imagine it'll lead to some spice, but yeah, I'm really excited to add this one onto the TBR and see where it goes. It says marrying Beckett might have been the best idea in years, but falling in love with him would be the worst. So yeah, I do recommend picking this one up and adding it to your TBR. Then I've put a Bodyguard romance on the list. I've read 1 or 2 Bodyguard romances, really enjoyed them, but it's not a trope that comes up very often. And this is It Seemed Like a Good Idea by Lauren Blakely. I really like Lauren Blakely's Love and Hockey series. I've been working my way through that. The spice is great, her romantic style is great, but I think the concept of this is going to be so good. So she has a twin sister. Her twin sister has become a famous actress, and they're filming in her small town. So everybody's like, we're going to need to protect you because you look like your twin sister. People are going to think you are your twin sister. Like, it's a little bit problematic. So they hire a bodyguard. At first she's kind of like, okay, fine. Doesn't really think anything of it until the bodyguard turns up. Problem. Big problem. She's had a one-night fling with him. She's texted him and he's ghosted her. A little bit awkward. If you ask me. So then she's going to be in this like forced proximity situation with him. She owns a flower shop, I believe, and he's obviously got to protect her. And I'm gonna guess you find out why he ghosted her. Maybe he didn't, maybe he did. I think it is dual point of view as well. Yes, it is. It's dual point of view. I can see little text messages, and I think it's gonna be so good. So good. So yeah, definitely one that's a little bit different, but perfect for summer. It is part of a series, but I don't know if the other one's out yet in the series, but it is like a standalone in part of the world of the series. Then we have A Girl Like Her by Talia Hibbert. I'm really excited to read this because there's neurodivergent representation in this. It's also a very pretty book. So she has autism, I believe, and she's kind of known as like the black sheep in her town. So her name is Ruth. It says she's prickly autistic and shadowed by a scandalous past. And then this guy called Evan Miller comes to town and he shows an interest in Ruth. And obviously because she's the black sheep of the town, everyone's like, why would he like Ruth? And then the story is obviously going to grow from there. People think that she's bewitched him. And Ruth just wants to know if he's the type of person to get bored and leave. So she's obviously got a scarred past. She's obviously got a relationship in the past that's hurt her. It's a very pretty book as well. So you do have this stunning artwork inside. It's the first in the Ravenswood series. I don't know if there's any more out yet, but it's the first one. You then also have in this edition of the book, it's a source books edition for the UK, a little foreword from the author that is handwritten, which I love, and signed, and then you have a map of the small town. So I can see there's like a town square, newsagents, a library, there's a thing called the Unicorn which looks like a pub, there's a cafe, and I imagine as you work your way through, there's also some content warning, I imagine as you work your way through the series you'll get to explore these places. So yeah, it's quite a small book. It's around 287 pages, which is a little bit on the smaller side for me with romance, but I'm excited to give this a go and see. And I just love that neurodivergent representation. I always try and read books with different like topics explored in them, and I do really enjoy a neurodivergent one. Then we've got some trauma. So this is Burn Bright. It's by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I'm pretty sure I've read something else by this author before. And this is Ben. He is the 6th person in his family, and he was meant to be picked for this NHL draft, which is National Hockey, I think. I don't know my American sports, so I'm going to guess hockey, NHL. It's got to be Hockey League, hasn't it? And he decides he doesn't want to do that, and he's going to go and live with his brothers, and he kind of drops out of college. But there's obviously something he's hiding, because it says out of a normal family of 7 he might get lost, but being the black sheep comes with its own intense spotlight. And he lives in an apartment with all his brothers, but he's harbouring a giant secret. And then he meets a girl called Harriet. Now Harriet I think is a little bit different, a little bit punk rock girl who's got a troubled past and has already pissed off one of his brothers, so he's like, great. Great. It is a chunky one to add to the TBR for summer, and the writing is quite small, but I do think I'm going to enjoy it. I love trauma. I love crying. There's text messages. I want to know what his secret is. I want to know why he is the way he is. Like, okay, he's the youngest in a big family, but what makes him the black sheep? Why did he not want to do the NHL? Like, I've got some thoughts in my head, but then I'm like, it can't be right. It can't be right. I'll obviously, like, before I start reading this, I'll film something and say what I think it could be, and then we'll see how close I am to that. But yeah, I really love a trauma, and when anyone's like hiding a secret and you're trying to solve it yourself, there's just something so good about that. Then we have A Song I Wrote for Charlotte by Caitlin Devlin. I'm pretty sure I have read a book by Caitlin Devlin that was about like dance mom kind of situation. Could be wrong, but I'm like, I feel like I know this author. So you meet this girl called Connie. She thinks she's going to go off to the Royal Academy of Music and play piano, and they turn her down. So she goes off to uni and starts to study English lit, which is a very good backup option, let me say. And then she meets a girl called Charlotte who lives across the hall, and Charlotte drags her into university life. She's not taking no for an answer with Connie. She's like, you're going to embrace this failure that you think you've had. And I think maybe Connie starts to have feelings for Charlotte, and it explores that. I'm pretty sure this is an LGBTQ plus book with queer romance in it, so I'm really excited to give this one a go. I've seen a lot of people at Harper Fire talk about it, say it's really good. It's got like diary in it as well, which I love. That kind of, you go through the dates of the year and it sets the setting up. So I think it's going to be really good. I think it's going to be really, really good. So again, not a big one. It is 275 pages, which for a romance, I think I'm used to my romance has been around 350, 400 pages at the moment, because dark romances tend to be, or 600 for dark romances. But I just thought this is a really, hopefully like a nice, heartwarming discovery of love book. So definitely excited to get this one on the TBR. And then last but no means least is a duology that I know is gonna break me. I've seen everybody on the internet crying about this. So this is Full Tilt and All In by Emma Scott. I know that this is like a rockstar romance and what happens when you give into the fame, I guess. I imagine there's like drugs, partying. being famous and all that sort of thing. But why do people cry at it? And I need to know. I need to know. So technically the 10th one is a duology as well. I know technically Jessica Peterson's 2 books and technically this, but we're going to call it 10 because it's the same author and this is part of a series. So if you just put these 2 books together, that's 1 book. But yeah, I love anything that makes me cry. I haven't cried enough this year, and just because it's summer doesn't mean I shouldn't cry. Again, I can see its dual point of view. And I've seen a lot of people talk about this, specifically on TikTok, and say it broke them, and I'm ready to be broken. I'm ready to have a little bit of heartbreak. So yeah, if you have read it, let me know if it made you cry, and I obviously will let you guys know if it made me cry. So yeah, they're my 10-ish books I want to have on my summer TBR. Do let me know in the comments what you've got on your summer TBR. I love getting new recs. If you've got indie authors that are romantic, trad authors that are romantic, let me know, because summer is the summer for romance. I love to read romance in summer. Make sure you have subscribed and turn on notifications so you're notified whenever I post on a Sunday, and I'll see you book lovelies next week. Bye guys!